they take a lot of offense if you dare to suggest anything about, well, I don't know, Joe Biden not being necessarily the best father and not the best president. In other words, do they kind of go hand in hand, that sort of patriarchal kind of quality where the kids are all falling in line? And by the way, the Border Patrol does what it needs to do. You know, you're minding the store, so to speak. Just like you take care of your family, you take care of your country. Is there a similarity to those things? And thus, is Joe Biden sort of lacking that basic DNA? That's the question that, to me, is sort of fair game, and that Jesse Waters recently brought up, as he should. Jesse took over for Tucker at 8 o'clock, and Jesse's a good guy, and he's a patriot, and he has a very specific viewpoint, and he brought this up, and oh my gosh, the vultures are coming out one after another because apparently Biden's granddaughter took offense. If you ask me, entirely contrived. But before we get to how offended she was, just watch the clip. Here's what Jesse had to say. Take a peek.
Oh, I knew Biden was bad on the border because he's not the best father. The man can't say no to his own son. He can't say stop. He can't have consequences for actions. And that's what you need. You need a man in charge on the border to say, this is not going to be allowed. And if you do break in, this is.
Okay, so he goes on. He's like, you know, you can't do this. And you need somebody who kind of gets it, right? And there's a quality. And by the way, it doesn't, I guarantee you, Jesse would say it doesn't necessarily have to be a man, or it could be a woman too, right? Like anybody, like it's a motherly instinct. It's a fatherly instinct. It's a family instinct. If you're a parent, you don't want people busting into your house and hurting your family members. Like, Joe, what's going on? So this is actually a fairly logical, good argument. But, you know, the left doesn't like it when you got a good and logical argument. And they don't like it when somebody's getting a lot of attention. A lot of people listen to them like they're listening to Jesse, just like they did to Tucker. So what happens? Oh, Naomi, the little granddaughter, she comes out, not little, she's 30 something. And she's got a tweet. I'm telling you, first of all, before I read it, just know that this is contrived. You know how I know it's contrived? I know it's contrived because she got the little video clip in there. This is not like easy stuff to do. I know she's that much younger than me, but like you got to kind of know your way around social media to pull this off. And she got even like the lower, we call them captions, right? The closed captions. She's got all of that. So you see, you can read it. And she had to go and find this and pull this. So I just have a sneaky feeling somebody might have helped. Just saying. I mean, I don't know. But it's a pretty sophisticated line of attack. She writes, I have heard so many lies about my family. It takes a lot to make me upset. This crosses the line. Not sure how this man can call himself a reporter, and I hope he never has a son or daughter who struggles with anything. You can disagree with his policies without being this ugly. Guys, did you think it was that ugly? Can we play it again? I just want to keep this all in perspective. Is this ugly? Tell me.
Oh, I knew Biden was bad on the border because he's not the best father. The man can't say no to his own son. He can't say stop. He can't have consequences for actions. And that's what you need. You need a man in charge on the border to say, this is not going to be allowed. And if you...
Okay, so she's saying this is really ugly. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest, Naomi, I've seen uglier. I mean, I really have. There's been a lot. I mean, I've seen uglier, by the way, on that laptop. Just saying. So this now is a huge story, and Jesse is in a bit of trouble for it. And thus far, I have not seen any defense coming out of Fox. Let's see all of the stories. I mean, if you do a Google search, oh my goodness, one after another, everybody's. Look at the Daily Beast, Business Insider, Boston Globe, Yahoo News, Salon, The Hill. I mean, they're just, Huffington Post, they are just piling on. There are many, many, many more. And they all have the same headlines, don't they? Hey, Drew, let's play that again because I want to see the headlines here. Take a look. Okay. Naomi Biden says Jesse Waters' remark crosses the line. We got to slow down, I think, because we're going too fast. I can't. Maybe Drew can slow it a little bit for us, because I think that there's a similarity here. Naomi Biden says Fox's Jesse Waters crosses a line. Naomi Biden says Jesse Waters' remark crosses the line. Naomi Biden, daughter of Hunter Biden, calls out Fox News host for ugly remarks about family. Okay, we got to credit the Boston Globe, owned by the New York Times. They get it a little bit different. Biden's granddaughter slams Jesse Waters for ugly remark, crosses the line. Joe Biden's granddaughter strikes back at Fox News host's ugly attack. This crosses the line. This crosses the line. This crosses the line. This crosses the line. Wow. Biden's granddaughter slams Jesse Waters for ugly remark, quote, crosses the line. You get the theme here, ladies and gentlemen. You can't cross that line. Don't you dare cross that line. I mean, you can cross the borderline. You just don't go near Joe Biden's parenting skills, apparently. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so where's Fox? Like defending opinion and speech and this, that, and the other. Well, thus far, and hey, it's still early in the day, I guess. Thus far, we haven't seen anything from them. That's not a very good sign for Jesse. I think he'll be okay. I hope he's okay. I mean, they don't want to go through this one again, but you look at these stories. Here's one in the Daily Mail, which, by the way, you know I like the Daily Mail. I talk about the Daily Mail all the time. We're going to show actually one of their stories, one of their polls coming up. But this is the Daily Mail's interpretation. They also have the crossing the line bit in there. Jesse Waters crossing the line after he branded Biden a bad father who can't say no. And it reads, a very sort of pointed viewpoint here, okay? They said in a bizarre rant, Waters, who left his wife of 9 years, the mother of their twin daughters, for a Fox News producer who is 13 years his junior, attempted to tie Biden's border policies with parenting during a broadcast from New Hampshire. So, whoa, they're like vultures going in. So now they're like, how dare you go after his family? You think you're going to do that? We're going to go after your family. And so they're calling it a bizarre rant. I'm kind of surprised, again, it's coming from Daily Mail. And they're pointing to his own personal life, which, look, the guy, what does he do for a living? His job is to go on television and talk about politicians in a way that everyday Americans can understand. You don't think that someone on the left would do exactly the same and a whole lot more to Donald Trump? I mean, can you imagine if Eric Trump lived the lifestyle, or Junior, of Hunter Biden or Ivanka, for that matter? I mean, my gosh, it would be game over, would it not? Yes, of course we know that, but you're not allowed to go here. And again, thus far, I guess some of these media reports, including the Yahoo story, they've contacted Fox and Fox had no comment. So that doesn't look so good. But, Fox is in a whole lot of trouble. I mean, they just paid, what, $787 million to Dominion? And they've got the Smartmatic going. I mean, they kind of need to win friends and influence people right about now. They're kind of nervous. They got new management, right? Rupert's gone, Lachlan's in. So what do? Well, hopefully Jesse's fine. And I suspect he will be. I mean, they're kind of banking on him right at 8 o'clock. And I think this will actually help his ratings, so long as no one totally freaks out. But hey, you got the granddaughter of the president calling you out in a really coordinated way, with everybody picking up the exact same headline, and everybody now piling on Jesse Waters and on Fox. And hey, we've seen this movie before, have we not, friends? We're all friends here, right? I've certainly seen this movie before. You know that. And I think Tucker Carlson has seen this movie before in a much more massive kind of way, because he was called out. This is Naomi Biden, but Tucker was called out by Senator Chuck Schumer on the floor of Capitol Hill because Chuck Schumer didn't like his J6 reporting. Remember this?
Millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. I don't think
He goes on to say, if we still have it. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. I don't think I've ever seen a news network do anything quite like this. Can we play a little more? Oh, maybe not. All right, well, we'll save it for another day, but you get the point, right? Chuck Schumer's doing that. The media and the left and Biden's granddaughter are doing that. And so the moral of the story is you're not allowed to go after Hunter, right? Just like before. I remember 2024 and somebody, that would be the New York Post, decided to run the story about the laptop. And whoa, that was no-go territory. Like, no go. Don't even think about it, because we got 51X spooks that came out and said this is nothing but misinformation. And Donald Trump, how dare you, in that now infamous debate, bring that issue up? Remember, I do.
It's an open discussion, please.
Now, it's a fact.
Well, you have raised an issue. Let the Vice President answer.
Discredited.
Did Burisma pay him $183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr. President,
my son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
Mr. President, let him answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who? The media?
By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank, by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath.
So let me ask you this.
No, go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to you.
People under,
he got $3.5 million from Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration.
I mean, it's sort of amazing. It is amazing. And so, Jesse Waters bringing up the fact that he's a father, et cetera. I know they want to say it's no-go territory, but, and whether or not it relates to the border, I mean, I think there's some interesting parallels that are actually fair to discuss. But more importantly for me, I think back to that. And I think back to the many, many questions we all have right now about just exactly how Hunter Biden made his living, why it was that he was getting $83,000 from a Ukrainian energy company that was sketchy at best, now defunct, Burisma, $83,000 a month, not just for him, another $83K for his partner, for his business partner. So they're collecting big time off of Burisma in a board position. Trust me, boards don't pay that well. I mean, I think they'd be more fun to be on if they paid that well. $83,000 a month. And all coming at a time when his dad had a lot of say over Ukraine. And we still don't know the actual answers to this stuff. Come on, House Committee, we should get going. I mean, SARS, look at all the SARS reports, suspicious activity reports, tons of them that were coming from Treasury about Hunter Biden's bank accounts while his dad was there as vice president. So that to me is incredibly troubling. And the fact that that story got shut down, totally shut off by a coordinated media effort, that's pretty scary. So now we're looking at another coordinated media effort. I just showed you all the coordinated headlines. They decided to run with this. They're going to go after another Fox anchor because, hey, that's what they do for sport. And I'll tell you, if Fox isn't strong enough, they're going to find themselves really looking around saying, who can we get? But you know what? Jesse's going to be fine. Jesse's going to be fine. He could go out on his own tomorrow and he'd do great because it's a new media business these days, shall we say. But the truth is this. No, it's not. It stinks. I get it. The fact that, you're in public office and now they're going after your son. Maybe he deserves it if he was selling your office, so to speak. We don't know. Those are allegations. I have my suspicions, but those are allegations. I would say this. Sure, I get it. You can't control your son. He's a full-grown man. But if you know he's got these challenges, if you know he's got these problems, if you know he's got these tendencies, maybe you don't choose such a public career. Maybe you stay on the speaking circuit. Maybe you stay at the University of Pennsylvania where you get all that Chinese money flowing in. Remember how donations went up as soon as he got his name on the plaque outside the building where some of those really confidential documents were found? I mean, you could have continued doing that. But no, you had to run to be the president of the United States of America. And that indicates to me a certain level of selfishness. And if you're that selfish, how are you ever a good parent? If you're that selfish, how do you really do your job well, thinking about people, Americans, citizens in an empathetic and understanding, sensitive way?